Hey, welcome to another episode of Politics and Wellness. I am your host, Captivating Christian. And of course, you guys are my co hosts, along with, of course, hopefully you brought your glasses. All right. Hey, Nicole's got us. What's going on? Patty Duke, always a pleasure to see you. Brother Nate, how are you? And to whomever else may be in the balcony, welcome. Hopefully, you guys have had a great week thus far. I know it's early, but it's a whole lot of shenanigans um, going on that need some attention, but not a whole lot. Um, so let's get the BS out of the way. Former President Donald Trump is now facing some more legal woes, of course, because the investigation into his company or organization civilly has now turned into a whole criminal um, situation. One, I am not surprised. I knew this was possibly coming somewhere down the line. That is why he pushed so much that the election was a fraud and, trying to have people back him to remain president because as long as he's president, there's nothing criminally that can happen to him. Him being the former president at this point, he's a sitting duck. And, if they press people hard enough, they'll talk. Um, so basically, in a nutshell, that is definitely what's going on right now. Uh, do I feel some type of way? Absolutely not. Um, I mean, he's not the only. I mean, because he's the former president and he's Donald Trump. I guess I think that's why everybody's so like gun ho about it. But he's not the only wealthy white man who has used the very tax code to enrich himself and lie uh, to get more money and get away with it to a certain degree. So I'm not surprised, nor do I feel some type of way. Um, But anyway, we will be discussing a lot of things. It being the 1 year anniversary of the murder of George Floyd, we definitely be talking about that. We will be talking about the Black Lives Matter activist in London who was reportedly um, shot in the head by accident. Yeah, I don't believe it, nor do I buy it, but whatever. I will still report it. Um, and a couple of other things. We have quite a bit about the genetics thing that was quite interesting. So I will definitely share that with you all. And of course, mayonnaise going wild, y'all. Mayonnaise has gone wild and bad. Um, so yeah, so we'll get into a few things. So first, I want to just say welcome to everybody and anybody who's popped in. Welcome. Always a pleasure to see you guys. Um, I will drop the link early because I really made notes, so I'll probably get through these pretty quick. I was just looking for my notebook. So if you do want to pop on, and this goes for anybody, I know Brother Nate usually always pops on, but it really is for anybody. Like I said, I always ask that you be respectful, but you know, you know how we do over here. It's a certain level of decorum. Yeah, definitely. Miracle Whip going wild. I can't with it. So, let's get started. Like I said, I hope you guys are great. I hope all is good. Um, and it's just a lot. Too much for me. All right, George Floyd. George Floyd was murdered a year ago today. And the thought would be, well, where are we from that space a year ago? Right, and no dry units, moisturize. So welcome and moisturize. But where are we definitely uh, a year ago from the very day? I personally say we're pretty much the same place we started. um, and that's evident by the 200 and change killings of unarmed black men and women by police officers. So I mean, I just don't I don't you know I don't get necessarily where we are when it's been a year of one discoveries. I'll tell you that it has definitely been a year of discovery for after George Floyd because we discovered this. Um, this was Ronald Green. He was shackled and ordered face down by the Louisiana state troopers in a deadly arrest, right? But this was nearly a year before George Floyd even happened. But of course, we didn't know anything about that because there was no bystanders so disgusted by the level and act of these officers here to where in which it brought attention to the world stage. Um, no one was there to witness but these fellow other participants and their body cams to witness the murder of this man. So, of course, we didn't know anything about it, and it was hidden for a very, very, very long time. Just recently, some new body footage, or the body footage actually emerged where it basically shows that he was murdered in the same fashion along with George Floyd. After the police and other investigators involved in the case told the family that he died in a car crash due to a chase. When they were quote unquote chasing him, he got wrapped up around a tree. And that was it. That was all. No investigation, nothing. So they were able to skate for an entire year without any kind of investigation. Again, who said anything about privilege? Um, so this happened. Also, um, a Tulsa, Oklahoma survivor. Now, before I even get into her testimony, this is not the first time that the 107-year-old woman, Viola Fletcher, testified um, in front of a committee for reparations for people involved in the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre. Now, she is one of three surviving. She is the oldest. She's 107 now. She was 7 years old when it happened. Um, but she is the oldest at 107. Now, mind you, 14 years ago is when she went before Congress the first time in regards to this matter. And you mean to tell me in 14 years, Lord spared her enough to have to come back and testify again? But again, we say this is not a racist nation, right? Okay. So, along with that, of course, we have the other mayonnaise. Now, I'm as someone who studied history, and especially like Black history and civil rights and all that kind of stuff, I am not surprised with the first disgust and surprise by other fellow miracle whippers about what happened with George Floyd, because they got to see it firsthand in their face and they were totally disgusted by the manner in which he was killed by one of their own, right? And I say that because the same thing happened with Martin and the civil rights movement. The entire time things were happening, children were being beaten and hosed. People were just being beaten up for no reason, for either trying to vote or just living their lives. All this stuff was happening. And it came to a point where you had to say, how can we get the rest of this nation to be involved with what's going on down here? Because nobody seems to be concerned. They brought the media. Once they got the media and the news people involved, other people, up north or what have you, got to see how a lot of black people were being treated. And they were more disgusted necessarily just by the treatment, because they would never, it's one thing to just not like you, but it's a whole nother thing to treat someone that way. And they can never think that they would be a group of people like themselves that would treat another human being that way. Now, mind you, a lot of things had to happen. Young girls had to get bombed in a church. People trying to cross a bridge so they can, exercise their given right to vote, had to get damn near killed, and which is known as Bloody Sunday, which a lot of people were involved in. All this had to happen, and people had to see it in order for them to stop, change gears, and really think, okay, something is going on here. So this is the same thing that happened, unfortunately, with George Floyd. You get involved, you get to see it, and then all of a sudden, okay, we need to do something. But the funny thing, and this is why it all ties in together, that even with Martin doing, and others doing, the boycott of the buses and the March on Washington, and all of that, and even passing the Civil Rights Act, at that point, a lot of white America thought, well, you did it. You got accomplished what you needed. So we should be good now. You should be okay with whatever level of excellence or progression you got, because we helped you and you got there. Now, I say all that for this. Now, since this year of George Floyd, the whole Black Lives Matter support, with a lot of them marching in a lot of cities, and you wondering, wow, there's a lot of white folks out here marching with us, shoulder to shoulder or what have you. Like, oh, that's impressive. Like, you must know what's going on. A year later, that support is dropped. And you say, how much has it dropped? Well, let's look at the numbers. So Black Lives Matter support, 75% of Black Americans. 75%, which is still kind of like, but you're Black. But 75% of Black Americans support the Black Lives Matter movement, compared to the white counterparts. Now remember, they were all, every city, they were just going for it. They were marching, they were doing more corruption and spray painting and breaking glasses than we were, because we realized, and we already knew, that if we were to engage in any kind of violence, it's going to look, bad for the movement. But nonetheless, they did it. Yeah, and they're at 42%. You were close, Lynn T. They're at 42%. Oh, but it gets worse. So then we get to policing and policies involving police. The whole reason for the marches in the first place. The reason for the marches and the disorder was for police brutality and how police interact with other communities. Because I'm not going to even say it's just Black communities, because I'm sure it's other communities too. But as far as right now, we're focused on the Black community. So in that, 77% of white folks are okay with policing, or the policing of their local officers. Okay with it. 77%. Compared to, of course, Black folks. Now we do the switch. 42% of black folks are like 42% of black folks trust their law enforcement officers. Now, I don't know what, everybody lives in different communities, so it's different, but the difference in the change that we see that white folks, they trust their police officers and they don't see nothing wrong with it. But of course, because the majority of your police officers are what? And look like whom? You. So of course there is extra trust there. Of course there is moments where we can where you can look out your window and see Bob or Mary Joe and feel safe because you know that they live where you live, so they're protecting you. However, it's different for our communities. You come to our communities just to police us, necessarily to keep us out of your neighborhoods. That's all that you are there to do. That's it. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome so much. Welcome. I see you, Melissa Scott. Crackhead Willie, ain't seen you in a while. Hey, welcome. Lynn T, of course, you always welcome. Nicole Goddess, welcome. Anybody else popping in the balcony, welcome. Hey, Just Jess, I did see you. You're always welcome. But I'm gonna get going, so don't charge it to me. But yeah, I just felt like that was very, very interesting. Only because, like I said, we've had this before. This is not the first time where we've, linked hand in hand, walked across bridges, saying we shall overcome with the people who kind of are the gatekeepers of the bullshit to kind of get them to go, okay, now you talk to your people about the BS that you put us through and maybe we can get somewhere. And they're kind of like, well, a lot has happened. The police officer that murdered him, it got charged. Okay, but what does that matter? At this point, we know the game. The game is you get the charge, you even may get a full conviction and go to trial and actually get charged with, whatever the sentence may be. Give it a couple years for everybody to die down, not think about it, not push for it, not fight to ensure that the sentence stands. And then you go back and you reapply and ask, hey, I think that sentence was a little too harsh. It's happening right now. I told y'all guys about 2 weeks ago, the woman in Texas who killed Botham John in his own apartment has been applying to have her sentence reduced and changed. Today, Dylan Roof, the murderer who went into a church, shot up 9 people. One of them happened to be a congressman, a sitting congressman. And then when he flees the scene, they go looking for him. He doesn't die. They apprehend him. Oh, they realize he's hungry, or he said he's hungry. So they went to the local Burger King and got him something to eat. But this ain't a racist nation. All right. I'll keep waiting for what you consider to be racist or biased, because I right now he is fighting to have his sentence changed and reduced from because he is on death row for the murder of 9 people. One of them, again, and I'll keep saying it, was a sitting congressman. Sitting on Congress. So then I'm just trying to figure out, again, but this is not a racist nation. Now, of course, if you want to look at the semantics of it all, you can say, well, this is not necessarily a racist nation because if nobody's on the nation, it's just land, trees, water, whatever, whatever. So how could that be racist? And that's in fact probably what they meant. But of course, when you're in political office, you have to phrase things a certain way because you don't want to anger other people who may, in fact, vote for you. So you got to tailor your words. But I still think it was stupid to say. Um, so yeah, so a year in this, and this is where we're at. This is where we're at. A whole year, and this man is murdered like this, the same way this man died. This woman has lived 107 years to when she was 7 years old, that age, holding her driver's license or whatever kind of photo ID she have, die. People died in a massacre. And she can't even get reparations for that. But a sex addict, Miracle Whip gone bad, can light up 4 spas, salons, happy endings, prostitution rings, and we can run and get legislation just like that. But you can't pass an anti-lynching law. You can't get past a George Floyd law or bill. You can't pass none of that. Because again, as I stated before, we don't have the backing that others have. We don't. And it's unfortunate. From a place that we were taken from with tons of resources. All of the world's resources, to be exact. Crazy. Just absolutely crazy. So while we're on the thing of Black Lives Matter, we definitely are asking for prayers for, I think her name is, I know her last name is Johnson. I can't think of her first name. It escapes me. But anyway, she's a Black Lives Matter activist out in London. And she was shot in the head while at a party. There seems to be that there were some kind of altercation that happened. The reports are that it was 2 rival gangs. And I'm not saying that I discredit it or that it didn't happen in that way, but my thought process of the whole thing is a little different. And it just is. And you may ask, well, why is it different? Just because of all the things that she was pushing to do. Again, a lot of this has to do with an agenda. And if you look at it on a broader scale, and I know it's just me, it's just my opinion, with Harry and Meghan Markle doing the sit down with Oprah Winfrey and basically saying that the head of the nation or the figurehead of our nation is racist. Basically, I married this black woman and they weren't having it. They figured I should just left her as a fling and went on about my life and kept it white. And so it brought attention again to the nation, to people looking at Europe as a whole, definitely at the United Kingdom as in how they deal with race relations. This woman herself, after seeing the whole George Floyd thing, took it upon herself to then say, hey, there's a lot going on here that I can stop, that I can make a difference to and lend my voice. So then she decided to do so. Um, she's definitely been an activist. Like I said, she has. I was supposed to say. She had a degree in what uh, community development and working with the youth. She was gonna start. They were planning on starting a political party called the TTIP, which would have been the first black-led political party in Britain's history. Now that part um, of my research definitely drew my attention, just because of the climate that we're in here in the States. And she is not the only Black Lives Matter activist, especially on this side, to uh, be shot or even close to death. There have been a lot of Black Lives Matter activists on this side of the pond, as they say, and they have died. They were murdered. So, am I shocked? Yes, that even in London or in the UK, this is an issue. Am I totally surprised? I think they're out to get anybody speaking out that has some sort of influence and power, because that's how you kill a movement. That's how you stop. Um, that's how you stop a life. You crush it out by any means necessary. The same words that people like to give to Malcolm X and make him seem so militant. When you look at it, you wonder, well, who's the actual militant? Was he, or people like J. Edgar Hoover, who you celebrate, who you name buildings after? Because he's definitely killed far more people uh, than a Malcolm X or Martin Luther King combined. But yet we still celebrate him. So, yeah, definitely prayers go up to her. She's not the first from Black Lives Matter. No, she's not. She's not. The list grows and grows. And it's not even reported. I mean, there's no way people were really even talking about this woman's murder. When I was watching the BBC, they were just talking about how, they were investigating and it was wrong place, wrong time. And I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Like I've said before, even on stateside stuff, that we have to realize that there are people who are paid, who live in our communities, who, hang out with us, who drink with us. Just because they look like you don't mean that they're for you all the time. It's just like the Black Messiah movie where they were trying to infiltrate the Black Panthers in the Philadelphia area and trying to find somebody to do it, because this young man was so prolific and was able to not only bring just Black folks, but white folks too, in line with him. And not just any white folks, but all white folks on all spectrums, of the state. I mean, he had, just farming white folks in line step with him. He had, urban city white folks. It was more of a thing of, hey, we can come together to fight the bigger system than we can separately fighting amongst each other. And of course, J. Edgar Hoover got a whiff of it and, did what he had to do to exterminate him, just like he exterminated many others. And it's just, we need to understand that. We need to understand that, know that it's real, know that this is something that definitely happens, that we deal with every day. And we can't turn a blind eye to it. And yeah, it does get tiring, and yeah, it's stressful, and you feel like your voice is not being heard, but you just got to press on. Like I can't sit by and not do anything. And for those who say, "Well, what can you do? What can you do? Or what can I do?" You could start with your vote. And yeah, I know people vote. Da, da, da. You can't change the system if you're not in the system to change it. You definitely got to be in the system to change it. Their European history could tell you that. Um, they were not even able to overthrow the British government here when we were, well, when they were colonies. I ain't gonna say we because we were never part of this, but when they were colonies, they were not able to overthrow the British just on the whim because they felt like it. No, they had to get in the system. They had to work the system. They had to be in the system for a while until they decided, all right, we've got enough of the system and know how the system works and what they're doing, and gained enough resources from the system to now we want to overtake it. But there's no way that they would have just landed off a ship coming from that side, deciding, okay, we're going to overturn the British. Absolutely not. It wouldn't happen. So, yeah, with that, definitely prayers go out to her and her 3 kids. She has 3 young children who now may have the prospect of not even having a mother. Um, and again, I know the story is, she was at a function and something broke out, but it's just for me that she got shot in the head. She is now fighting for her life from a gunshot wound to the head. There's no other reports of anybody else being shot. But a shot in the head is almost pretty much like, you're not just blah, 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 blah. And sometimes that does happen. But it just seems more very deliberate. Very, very, very deliberate. But like I said, prayers definitely go out to her family, to her for recovery and health. But if God's will, if not, definitely for somebody to take up that banner and continue that fight. We don't. That is the problem. We seem to. Everybody goes, well, there's not going to be another Malcolm. There's not going to be another Martin. Well, why can't there be? Yeah. And then also genetic traits. Now, this was pretty interesting. And I'll get into why it was interesting by a lot of things. So there was I don't know, a man was arrested and in police custody by the name of Lamont Perry. And some of you may know this story and some of you may not. I did not. Back in October of 2016. And I think I was more focused on who the hell was running than anything, or who got elected than anything. And I think that's when Donald Trump or something was going on that I was totally focused on that. But this 32-year-old young man out of Waynesboro, North Carolina, was killed in police custody. There was no protests. There was no Action Network. There was no Ben Crump down in North Carolina in 2016. Mr. Perry was accused of violating his probation with a misdemeanor assault case. So then he was, once they stalked him out and realized where he was, they began to chase him. And not only were there police officers involved in this, but parole officers. Now, I know they're a part of law enforcement, but that's real peculiar that parole officers and police officers kind of joined forces to apprehend someone, but they did. And again, under the cover of darkness, Mr. Perry ran into the woods and or wooded area, and they chased him. Um, they ran after Mr. Perry. Mr. Perry went in the woods, but they did not. Mr. Perry did not come out of the woods. The police officers did, but Mr. Perry did not. At least not on him, not under his own power. So again, I say, in a year since George Floyd, the only thing we can reflect and say thus far, and I don't even want this to sound harsh, but thank God that young woman or young girl took it upon herself to record what was happening and post it to social media. Because obviously, had no one been there, we probably we wouldn't have known any of it. And so, getting back to this particular case, so he ran in the forest or wooded area. He did not come out. And so we can always follow through with this is the young man that was chased into a wooded area by police and other law enforcement. But he came out of the woods like that. And when he came out of the woods on the gurney, the forensic investigators stated that he had swelling in his brain and an open fracture on his right leg. He was also covered in dirt, and many witnesses who were, bystanders reported or told reporters and other people who would actually listen to their story that the officers who came out of the woods, their shoes and their pants were covered in blood splatter. Now, what Mr. Perry's case did do was expose a thing that law enforcement does, that pathologists do, not all of them, but some, let me be clear, not all, but some, do to protect law enforcement. And you may ask, well, what do they do? So when they are reporting or giving reports on people that have been apprehended by police, especially being Black people, men and women alike, if they die in custody or somewhat after from being in custody, they have used sickle cell as a factor in their death. And yeah, sickle cell, which of course, those of you who know, those of you who don't know, it's more of a hereditary disease that a lot of people who are Black happen to have. 1 out of every 13 have sickle cell. What that is a genetic. It's like, I know you're joking, right? No, I'm not joking. I wish I was joking. No, I'm so not joking. It's of course a genetic disorder where the blood kind of has a different shape, and so it causes pain and sometimes can be life threatening to a lot of people. But the pathologists, as well as many police departments, have used uh, people having sickle cell as a reason to why they may have died in custody. He's not the only one. George, in the George Floyd case, uh, the defendant's lawyer tried to use that as a way to have the trial even thrown out early on. That, along with George Floyd's drug use and other complications, as well as uh, having sickle cell, is the reason why he died, and not Derek Chavin's knee on his neck. There's plenty of other cases. There was one, I know I saw it. Um, Last name Brown, first name Gamel, I think. He was a property maintenance supervisor who cut his hand on a broken mirror at his home in Baltimore suburb back in January of last year. He promptly called 911. The police who responded said that he became extremely combative. They jolted him several times with a stun gun. After he died at the hospital, the medical examiner said that the manner of his death was undetermined and that it was caused in part by sickle cell traits. Okay, and the state attorney filed no charges. And this is not something that just happened in these cases. There's tons of cases. Not to mention, I think the New York Times have found that at least, and this is just what they uncovered, 46 other incidences in the past 25 years in which medical examiners, law enforcement officers, and other defenders have used the sickle cell trait as a cause for Black people dying in custody. And that's 46 that they were able to uncover and talk about. 46 in 25 years. You want to multiply that by a whole lot to get the real number? Multiply that by a whole lot to get the real number. But again, this is what defunding means. And I just want to make that very clear. You know, people get defunding like, oh, the people say they don't want police. No. It's the system that needs to be changed because everybody's working to protect everybody else. When, you have people that's supposed to, you don't necessarily work for law enforcement. You work for the people. The city has hired you. You are a city worker, but you work for the people. So therefore, regardless, you're supposed to just examine the body and give your findings. The fact that you examine the body, know that the person had died from blunt trauma and all these other type of things, and yet you still lie to protect law enforcement, which you don't really work for, lets you know right there that there's a system at work where one hand washes the other. So, it's a lot. It really is. It's a lot. It's way too much. Way too much for me. So all that in a year and more, just while the trial was going on, that young man got killed 10 miles away from where George Floyd lost his life. So, I mean, I just, save me with it's the 1 year anniversary, but ain't shit changed 1 year anniversary. You can parade the children in front of Congress and all that. But the fact that people could not say, hey, we're going to pass this thing because that was inhumane. It's not crazy to you. It's because at the moment when they got to see how their people act, they are disgusted. But after some time of letting it bypass and letting it go, they're okay. Same thing that Martin, Malcolm, and others were going through with the civil rights movement and just wanting the right to vote. They really didn't care about all this. Oh, let's just be integrated. And I just want to feed my family. I just want to, be respected as a man. That's as a woman. That's really all I want. But it always seems to be once they, mangle their little fingers and everything, then everything kind of changes and goes a certain way. Are you ready, sir? Hey, what's going on?
Good evening. How you doing? How's everybody doing?
I'm good. Everybody's good. Everybody's good.
Okay. You sound kind of stressed.
No, it's just this.
No, it's call it what it is. It's bullshit.
It's like, come on. And everybody was like, oh, yeah. So they talked about it being the year of George Floyd for a while. And then all of a sudden, this story popped out about Trump. And it was like,
no, what are we doing? We have very short attention span. Very short.
Cover it up.
Mm-hmm. Everything stays in the news cycle for about 15 minutes.
That part. I'll be right back, though, real quick.
Mm-hmm. I think when you say he's still stuck on Trayvon Martin. Yeah. And there's no reason why that his murderer should still be walking around. Somebody should have got him a long time ago. Yeah, not much is going to change. So my advice is get comfortable, get a weapon if you can have one in your household, and just be aware of what's going on. Pay attention to everything that's going on around you, especially within your states, because they're passing so many laws. It's just hard to keep up with. What is that, Lindsay? What's in your community that is going on?
Yeah, it's just really, I don't know, it's just really crazy. Like this was just the day to be like, what? What's going on? Like, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was reading what Patty Duke had wrote down. Yeah, somebody should have whacked him by now. And that's the one thing. Once these, they're going to go through the judicial system, right, and you know what's going to happen. Right. So, once his toes touch the street, it should be fair game.
Right.
That's how that's how I feel about it. It should be fair game.
Yeah.
You can slow walk his ass down, and just do it that way. They killed a young black male that I knew a few years ago, and they killed. She was pregnant. Yeah. Yeah. It is. And just think about all the local things that you don't hear.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
But it all follows the same MO.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like,
and I actually think that it's gone up since the whole Floyd incident.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, of course, it's not reported on because a lot of the towns and states, they don't want the extra heat, so they try to keep it as mum as possible, and then you'll find about it later because the
months later,
the family's still fighting.
Later,
the family's still fighting, and all of this. Speaking of that, my last particular story And just the face brought me to like, girl, is you mad because of your whole life? This one. So this jar of expired, spoiled Miracle Whip
Mm.
decided.
And it looks lumpy. It looks really bad. That shit's been sitting out.
Sitting out in the
Been
sun
sitting out the
for way too
refrigerator.
long. Way too long. Sitting hard. Yeah, so this beautiful piece of bean footage decided that she was going to take her vehicle and plow into protesters
That's
down
because she
in
thought she was
one.
down in Florida. She thought she
Yeah,
was down in Florida. That's what that shit was.
I said, and again,
No, Karen,
in
you're in the
South
wrong
Carolina,
state.
right? In South Carolina, in North Carolina,
Gotcha, bitch. You're definitely in the wrong state.
right?
You're not in Florida.
But this says a lot, though. It says to me, one, she's watching very much so she definitely knows what's going on in Florida and what just got passed in Florida. Two, she may also know that the legislation in North Carolina is looking to do the same.
Same thing. That's right. It always starts with one.
That's it. That's it.
And all she had to do was hear it.
That's it. That's it. Because
now, for our sake, go ahead.
Right. The news reported it so nicely. For our sake.
Yeah, for our sake, the bitch was in the wrong. She was in the wrong state.
Right. Yeah. No, for her own sake too, she was in the wrong state. Because only they would have dragged her marshmallow ass out of that car, and whoever didn't get hit would have whooped her ass. I really don't understand. I mean, it's just like the young man in Charlottesville who killed the white woman, Heather. Can't think of her last name, but oh gosh, what is that white woman's name? Well, anyway, he plowed through a whole crowd and killed one of their own. And the only reason why, of course, it was this whole big hoopla is because you killed a white woman. A white man killed a white woman. And it was like at a Black Lives Matter march or a march.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I remember what you're talking about.
Yeah. A march to knock down Confederate monuments. Oh my God! Because
was that the one that was in Virginia? Yeah, that was hit by the car. Yeah, because they named the street after her.
Yeah, right. They named the street after her. They had this whole big thing. The mother still goes around and perfectly fine. But there's just the difference. How about she ran over this woman, hit two black women. They were, of course, taken to the hospital and released with non-threatening injuries. Don't say a name. I think one article does say a name. One of them happened to have the same last name as me, and I thought, oh, we cousins. Maybe not. But they were both 42 years old.
Patty Duke or non-binary. Patty Duke asked the question.
You know,
just be politically correct. I know what I saw it too.
I thought it was that character? Was it
Pat? Pat.
That's what I see. I just see Pat. Who don't see Pat when you look at this? I just see
all
Pat.
over it.
Patrick.
Woo.
Pat.
Oh yeah.
Pat.
And then see, she has a lot of anger. But wait a minute. Put her picture back up there again. She looks mixed. Look at her hair. Is she angry? Is she angry at her father or her mother?
She angry that whoever she trying to date don't want her. Because to me, she look a little butchy. I'm just saying. She look a little.
Well, maybe she's. Well, you know, around here we must moisturize.
Yep. Well,
I
mean, she look like.
Or do you think she pumps?
She looked like a piece of raw meat or something. She looked like just like she looked. She looks very She looks very Miracle Whipped. She looks Miracle Whipped.
No, actually, she looks like she smells like bologna. Smell just like bologna.
You smell like chicken with no seasoning, just straight out the package and into on the pan, just straight, bam, just
laying there.
No salt, no pepper, no nothing. Just
she pumps. You say she pumps, Patty? Yeah,
I
you
don't know
never
if
know nowadays.
but she got a dog collar on or some kind of like choker thing. Like, look,
Is it?
let's examine close. See here
Oh,
around
okay.
the area here, she's got this little choker thing going on, like or
Mm,
neck collar, a dog collar or something. She looked like a little bit of a pit bull or uh,
mm.
uh,
Well,
what
you
they
know.
call her, a boxer or something. She's got a canine look to her, a little canine-ish. And I ain't talking about her incisors either.
Mm.
she, she looks hard. She looks hard. But the good thing I will say about North Carolina in regards to this at least is that homegirl is still in jail.
Mhm.
The judge has set her bond $40,000, which of course
Yeah.
ain't much because you only need 10% of that. Well, I mean, I don't know if that's universal, but I mean, if it is universal, then she only needs 10%, which I mean, it ain't much if you got it, but it's probably much if you don't got it. And she looks a little trailer parkish. I mean, I'm just
Well, we
saying.
did say non-binary. When you don't know, just be. I can't even come up with the words for it. We say, Asian abuse, black abuse. We've been beaten down for years.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, of
Mm-hmm.
course, but we again, we have to take responsibility of our part too.
Mm-hmm.
We do. We got to take responsibility for our part too, because if we didn't support it in any form, it
Very
wouldn't be
true.
able to stay.
Mm-hmm.
It's because some of us do the same thing we've been doing. Well, Master ain't never beat me.
Yeah.
I ain't never get whipped. I ain't never had my loved ones hang. We good. You know what I'm saying? Because we have that mentality. It's not you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. It's well, you ain't mess with me. We good over here. No, but that shouldn't be. What's the difference in what? I'm sorry. First of all, the yelling, be clear. The yelling we don't do. So all that capping, yeah, you can calm that down. But you can ask your question. So yeah, I just she needs the woman needs help. But we'll see what happens with this one. She thought
Yes. But like I said, thank goodness she was in the wrong state. But
yeah,
see, that's the signal that's sent out now.
but see exactly that's what I'm saying. With Florida doing that and encouraging um this whole, they won't charge you if you happen to necessarily feel scared for your life because you see some protesters who
Mm-hmm.
aren't even bothering you. But if you want to take your car and use it as a weapon to uh, run over some people, oh, it's okay. We'll understand. We'll just say you were scared for your life and keep it moving, and you won't be charged. And so that is just signals the same way Trump is always and others have always just sent dog whistles out there to whomever,
Mm-hmm.
whatever dog will hear it and continue to carry on in their own way. So it's just about to be real nasty, real ugly. I just ask that when you do decide to, uh, participate in these things, that be careful, be watchful. Everybody ain't trying to support you. Some people trying to size everybody up, and I know.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I have my own friends that be like, "Yeah, I feel you, but I ain't going. I'll watch from the TV or the computer, but I'm not going. All of us in one place, I can't do
Yeah.
it. But hey,
And it's easy to infiltrate.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
and we saw that earlier last year with the other marches and things. Look at who was doing most of the damage.
Mm.
That tells you right then and there. And they even had undercover police officers
Yeah,
in
right,
there
right. In
doing the
there doing
damage.
it, right. But I mean, again, we're not surprised at that either. You sitting there discovering that what there were mad police officers on every level of law enforcement
Hmm.
at the Capitol fucking shit up. Crickets, just like I'm hearing now, straight crickets,
Hmm.
because it's a we can punish a few, but that's all. We go, oh, well, we got 200 and something people who have been apprehended from January 6th. That's it. It looked like more than
Mhm.
200 something people to me. It's just really just over the top. Just I can't. Um, we don't have the backing of China. Yeah, I said it all the time. We don't have the backing of China, like or like Asia. Period. In that regard, to where in which
Yeah.
if they violate us, you damn sure China got on that phone real quick and said,
Oh
"Don't
yeah,
do
they've
something."
done it before, and they've done it with
They've
other
done it
countries.
before. They've done it.
Remem-
Yeah, they've done it with
Yeah,
other
when they did it
countries.
with. Hmm.
They've done it with other countries. They've done it with other situations. They've done it in New York with the off the Asian officer who shot that black man in a dark stairwell
That's right.
um,
Hmm.
because he was just shooting and he didn't announce himself or anything like that. When they tried to charge that officer with that man's murder, they stepped in and
Hmm.
was like, "Go ahead and do
Yeah,
it."
because then it becomes a political matter.
Yeah, right. So they even the attorney general at the time uh wind up lowering the charges
Hmm.
after consideration.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had consideration, all right.
Remember, even though their people are here, they
Right.
still have connections. They still have their
That's
connections
it.
with their family members and things, and they send a lot of. First of all, they purchase a lot of goods
They
from
do.
China because you know it's dirt cheap over in China, and they make a lot of income, a lot of money. And if you haven't noticed, if you ever been on eBay, have you ever noticed the cloning of certain items, especially like electronics?
Right.
They do that in a heartbeat
Right.
because what they'll do is they'll have somebody work for the actual company, and then
Right.
that person will actually have off-site.
All prototypes. Yep.
Yeah, he'll already have his own stuff set up where they've already deconstructed the item and they're selling it um, on the open market, but as a no-name brand.
Right. Right. Very true.
They do that all the time. And then the bad part is half the time the shit works better than the actual name brand you bought at half the price.
At half the price, right?
Hmm.
But yeah, they know this, and other countries do too. We don't have that. We don't
Yeah, we
have
don't
the
we don't
backing
have that connection.
of
That's one of the disadvantages. You don't
right,
have the connection
right,
of back home. You
right,
know.
right. But again, who doesn't think at this point that that was the plan all along?
Hmm.
Separate them enough that there is no connection. So then later on down the line, when they do discover themselves or realize their own power or well being, they just be alone.
Yeah. You say your basic Walmart products. Y'all
Right.
was there today. Oh my god.
Mm.
And those children were running around there with no mask on. They were loving it.
That's it all day. That's
Mhm.
I'm just like this crazy, just absolute craziness. I mean, just to make some money, because that's all it is.
Mhm.
It has nothing to do with the numbers going up, the numbers going down. This is all about making money.
Yeah, they're going to force everybody
Right. Last year
to.
they stopped. They stopped making money just because. Okay,
Mhm.
this is serious. This year they're not trying to lose money 2 years in a row. No.
Yeah, and that's
They
why,
got
like New York City, trying to force us. They're forcing schools open
schools open.
next. Yeah, in the fall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're not trying to
Because
lose
people
money.
can't afford to. Shit, you can't afford the
To live
daycare as
there,
it
let
is.
alone daycare. Right.
Yeah, and that's another thing. A lot of people left.
Yeah.
They're talking about people not wanting jobs. A lot of people went back home to wherever it was if they were living in large cities, New York
Right.
City, um, California. There's no way in the world you pay out that amount of money when you live there. That amount of money for an apartment in New York City,
Yeah.
some hole in the ground, and I gotta live above and below somebody. And I
Well,
walk in the room. I'm walking in my living room, dining room, and bedroom and kitchen all in the same room.
all
I'm
of the
not doing that
things.
shit.
Yeah. Well,
Not
no,
for
I
that
mean,
amount of money.
yeah. No, I was blessed enough to grow up in a house, so I
Mm.
thank God for that. But yeah. No, you ain't never lied. Some people, when I was older and visiting people, like
Yeah.
it was a studio, and the studio was the size of a living room. Like
Hmm.
that's it.
I was like, God
It was
damn.
bedroom, living
Why am I
room.
looking at your Why am I looking at your dirty drawers and I'm sitting in the kitchen?
Right.
It's like
Right. right, everything all in one, and they're paying like tons of money.
Tons of
And
money.
sometimes that's just for a view. That's just to open
Hmm.
up the window and you see the Brooklyn Bridge, or you see
Yeah, and they always, and they definitely have to love it because that's the first thing they say. I just
yeah,
love being in the city. I
yeah,
just like all this stuff. It's always something going on. I was like, nope,
no,
give me a house.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because even growing up in Queens, I had to drive to the city, so it was just like uh, it was different, So it's like if I
Hmm.
wanted to go, I'd just go. But if I didn't, I stayed where I was, and I didn't have to be bothered with the full city experience. So, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, that's what I say, Lynn. Why? I'll come and visit. I'll come and visit.
Yeah, like people like, will you ever move back? Probably not. Probably.
Hmm. No, I want more for my money.
Yeah, I mean,
Definitely want more for my money.
but and even stuff you have, like if you happen to have a house now and you've had it for some years,
Oh yeah, you're not
you
going to be able to afford to
you
move anywhere
you
else.
looking at you looking at close to a little more than $500,000.
There is no way in the world in today's economy. Now, as bad as everything is now, and the real estate is going through the roof.
Yep, very true. I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah, but back to the sickle cell story. They're going to use everything in their power. Any of our weakness, they're going to use
Oh
against
yeah,
us.
yeah, of course. But I just, it was alarming to me of the cases because I mean I looked at the 46 or 45 cases in the 25 years that they had
Hmm.
uncovered and thought that's BS. Goddamn, I know it's more. And not only that I know it's more, but in 25 years, I know
Yeah,
you lying. Like you
yeah.
only
Somebody just
46,
saw a piece of that
yeah,
puzzle. Somebody just
a
saw a
piece,
small
yeah,
piece of the puzzle, but
right.
it's much larger than that.
Right,
It's
right.
much larger than that.
It's like one of them 1,000+ piece puzzles things where you just like you ain't gonna ever get this together. Like that's how small
Hmm.
the piece is for a 25-year. You discovered that for 25 years, only 46 cases where they have killed black men and women and accused or put it on sickle cell. I'm
Hmm.
not buying. I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was crazy, but yeah,
Well, these are welcome to the United States.
yeah, and that's the crazy part. As much as we push equality or push this kind of inclusive or this is not America, we are not like this, and then you see stuff like this where you know
Hmm.
you, you got the mayonnaise who was fighting with you 1 minute. Now they like, well, you're good now, ain't you, George Floyd? The guy got convicted. Are we good, right? And I'm
Everything's
going
fine.
about my
Now
business,
everything,
right?
all the dust is
Right,
settled, and everything will
right.
go quiet. Everything will go dark
Exactly,
now. It's like no,
exactly.
no, 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 no. It can't go that way because we will continue to perpetuate this cycle
Right.
over and over again.
We're like
And I'm
hamsters on a
telling you,
wheel. We're like hamsters on a wheel. Like it's just
uh huh.
ridiculous. Like
But this shit is going to get violent. That's the only way that you're going to be able to stop this.
yeah, yeah.
It's way past marching. You know,
It's been past marching, but
Oh
they
yeah, a
still
long
don't
time
have
ago. It's way past
it.
marching. But you know what? But I give people the opportunity if they can settle it peacefully. I never had any problem with that. But I've been past it a long time ago.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
wish. I wish one thing I wish they would do is stop parading the families in front of the people.
no. What I need for the families to do, and they always march the mother up there. She needs to bear her pain.
Yeah,
There's no fucking way in the world I'm going to sit up there and tell everybody to go for, be peaceful. No, burn this motherfucker to the ground from coast to coast. That's the only way anything ever gets done.
mm,
The shit should be in ashes. You understand what I'm saying? We are
mm,
now we're everywhere now.
mm-hmm.
We are everywhere now.
Yeah.
You can do so much damage just
Yeah.
with our 14%.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
We could knock this motherfucker off the grid. You understand what I'm saying? Plain and simple.
Well, I mean, the buying
But
power is
we need
there.
to understand how powerful we are.
Right, right. But that's
We know how this shit works. Like you
right.
were saying earlier, we
Yeah,
know how this shit works.
right.
And they need to be afraid of us. That's why they just bypass everything that goes on. They pat you on the shoulder, everything's going to be all right.
Well, that's because they got enough of us to still like be angry, but then be all right. Because they do. They have enough of us to, at the moment, be angry, at the moment, be upset, but then, all right, what's next? Because if everybody was really on one accord, there's no way. No way. No way. When you talk about, we're doing a blackout for this or we're doing a blackout for that.
It needs to stop being virtual too. It has very little effect.
Well, it only has.
You can support. You can support, but everybody thinks that just because you're behind the keyboard and you're pounding keyboards or you turn a avatar, whatever, black circle, that's it. No, you have to do some legwork.
Yeah. Well, I believe that's a old adage of ours. We're always quick to forgive or
I don't forget. I don't forgive, and I'm petty, and I'll tell you in a heartbeat, I'm petty.
Yeah, if I cut it on, it's petty all day. I'm good.
And don't think because I don't say anything about it, I'm not plotting my next move. Because see, I'm patient as shit.
Right.
I think the worst thing that could happen to me is that God hits me with a stroke, and I can't do anything. But I'm still in mind knowing what's going on. But you can't do it.
Right.
That would be my hell.
Oh, I'm sitting there typing it. I wish I could.
No, you know what? Have a pencil in my mouth, plucking it on the keyboard. Okay.
It'd be like the dude. What was his name? Oh gosh, the dude in the book that had the little button, and it was.
Yeah.
I don't think of his name, but yeah, it'd be like, fucking asshole.
Yeah. Well, we really need to understand that we are in a position that we could be a force that is reckoned with.
Yeah.
You do not, I understand they want to try and go through the system, but the system is infected throughout. There is nothing that it has not touched. And we need to come to that realization and understand that this shit, regardless, is not going to work. It's just not going to work. Yeah.
I mean, I had the backing of Africa. I mean, I really do. Yeah, I just do. I mean, I wish they had the support and the wherewithal of their own resources, but they don't.
Well, you know what? When with the slave trade and the colonization, they have been knocked off their center for a long time. So you really can't expect too much from them. I'm still pissed them motherfuckers didn't come over on the boats. You should have been rowing in that fucking kayak after that ship.
Right, yeah.
There's no goddamn way in the world they should have left that harbor.
No way. You see what China did? You see they built that wall real quick, try and come again.
That's right. You learn from it. You learn from it.
Try and come here and steal somebody.
He said the system is set up to hold us. Yeah, of course, because it wasn't designed for us.
It wasn't designed for us.
Remember, we're in their eyes, and they still feel that way. That's why these atrocities continue to keep going on. Is that we are not human? Right.
We are subhuman.
We are not. We are subhuman. We are brutes. Did you ever watch that documentary? We Are Brutes. Destroy all the brutes or something like that. Yeah, I mean, and that's what but I keep telling you, man, When I told you about my Star Trek buff, they remind me of the fucking Borg, man. They come through there and they annihilate every goddamn thing, and they take all the resources and they add their distinctive,
Yeah.
Your distinctive qualities to theirs,
Right.
and that's exactly what they remind me of.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I tell you,
I don't know what's wrong with your people, with your friends.
my friends.
I don't know, but just know.
But but it's an old story. It's a
Yeah,
very very old story.
yeah. But that's what I'm saying. I guess that's where my frustration, when you was like, "Oh, you sound frustrated." That's where my frustration comes from. Like,
You always sound
years,
frustrated. That's why I
no,
always say. That's why I always ask you, "Are you all right?"
this is
Because
years.
you're almost 40 now. You
Whatever,
can't be doing that shit.
whatever.
You be
29.
sitting up here. You be sitting up here crying on YouTube. I'm like, man, just turn this shit off. Turn this shit off.
No, I won't be crying.
Turn this shit off.
But
Here.
yeah, it's just really. I don't know. It's really from watching it. I mean, I would watch Eyes on the Prize, just like, oh, it's on, and just watch it, not watching it with any kind of intent, like, oh, this is on, I'm going to be so in depth. Just watching it because I like watching it, and to watch that stuff and see all that going on, and ask my parents about certain situations that I watched, and was really like, well, Grandma, did this happen to you? Because I don't hear y'all talk about this. And was like, well, no, not all the time. Sometimes with this, but we just knew not to go there or touch this.
They're just things that are unspoken and that we do.
Right.
That you just never really question, because we just and if you ask the question, why do you do that? It's like, man, we always did it, and you just never paid any attention. But they never went into detail.
Right.
The reasoning behind it.
Right. So when all that, and then you come into yourself and with your own knowledge and research and stuff like that, and then you realize, wow, and then here you are, a grown ass adult, and the shit is still happening. Just that it's in full color. You can see it 24/7. It's not an isolated incident where only some people will report about it, and you will never know about it. It's like at some point you see it, you hear it. It is there in your face, and it's still going on, and we still doing the same marching, and we still singing, we still doing.
And I tell you, with older eyes, you see so much more. It's horrible. It's horrible because now you can go back and reference the things from the past.
Yeah.
But you see, and it's like we keep doing the same thing, and we keep having the same results. When are you going to change this?
Right.
When are you going to change it?
Right. It's almost like, what can you do to change it? Because I guess my grandparents and great grandparents thought voting would change this.
Well, yeah, that's because that's the main thing. Well, if we can do this,
right,
we'll achieve this and this. Right. But now that everybody understands,
but now that we're here. Now, what is this?
But I think this is pretty much their last stronghold, because now people have come to the realization that a lot of people have already understood when dealing with white people that once rules are set and they will change it. And now to suit them. And now everybody sees it, because it was something that normally you wouldn't see. Right. You would see it at your workplace,
right,
and you would just mumble and grumble because it's something you would consider something small, and it was just pretty much just localized there. But this is their formula for every fucking thing.
Right, yeah.
How do you constantly? You wrote the damn law last year, and bitch, you amended it this year,
right?
Because it doesn't work. It doesn't work for you,
right? How about you wrote the law to ensure that president's election the first time. Because while the other one was in there, you was making sure to rewrite the election laws so that another one like him won't come in, at least for a good another 100 years. That's it. So you rewrote that. You did that. You got who you wanted necessarily in there. Then they felt like, okay, cool, we know how to work this. We'll just get everybody to just come out, vote. You may stand in line
Mm-hmm.
for 4 hours. We'll bring you some food. We'll bring you some water. We'll do buses on Sundays for the church people because it's a thing to vote
Mm-hmm.
on Sunday. So they did all this to now say, nope, we're not going to limit Sunday voting. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. And you think, oh, that's just, Georgia. No, Texas has already implemented it. Florida's looking
Mm-hmm.
to implement it as well. All these other states are cutting back as far as the hours you can vote, the drop boxes, the places you can vote, because they know that black people and people of color, majority of them, do not have the transportation to go to a far off voting location. So what will you do? Not vote.
In a pandemic, we're still in this shit.
Right. We still in it. It ain't
Mm-hmm.
going nowhere just because they want to make a little money and tell you, oh, you can go if you fully vaccinated. Or what they're doing now, of course, enticing a lot of us, we going to put you in a lottery. If you go give
Ain't
that,
that some shit? They already had a winner down here.
really?
Yes. So out in the county. They sure did. When I heard that bullshit, I was like, these motherfuckers are pulling everything
Yeah,
out their ass.
but see, Ohio is doing straight $1 million. Here he's doing 40 million, 40,000 a
That's
day.
40,000. Yeah. 40,000. And that you're automatically entered because they just use your information from, when you had received your vaccination.
And then I also in Ohio, the students that decide to get the vaccine will get a free, full-fledged, full paid for scholarship.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yep,
They are pushing this shit.
yep. Then my question is, what vaccine are you pushing that hard?
Very true. And you know this is going to be a yearly thing like the flu.
Yeah, yeah. At this point, of course. At this
It's
point,
going
of
to be a
course.
yearly thing.
But if the people don't do it, what they're going to do is same thing I've been saying. You want to travel? Don't you want to go away?
Oh yeah, you'll be restricted,
You'll be
especially if you're leaving
restricted.
the country.
Yeah, they vote. And that's already done. You can't leave the country
Yeah, yeah.
without paperwork. You cannot. You thought
Mm-hmm.
having a passport was a pain in the butt. Try having a passport and then making sure all of your shots and stuff is lined up before
Look,
you.
I remember when you could leave the country, all you needed was your driver's license and maybe your birth certificate.
I ain't never done
and, and
that.
yeah, and walk right across. It's easy to leave the country. It's coming back in that's the trick.
Now coming back in is easy, but leaving is hard.
Yeah, because up in Canada, you could just walk right across, whatever. You just show your license or whatever. But it's not like that now. But and down in Mexico, yeah, the motherfuckers they let you. Yeah, see you later. You have a good time in Tijuana. You have a good time down there in Cancun. But you see them long ass lines coming back in there. What do you have? And what let me see your paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a citizen of the states?
Yeah. No, I mean it was more like welcome back. Hi. You know what I'm saying? It was
we ain't even get that shit. No, it was goodbye, have a good time, and they waved to you.
They did a little of that coming back, but going, it was like, bitch, I don't know what the fuck's in Mexico. Y'all sitting there looking me up and down as if like I don't even know what I'm walking into, as if I know where I'm going. Like, I know what I'm about to walk into.
No, actually, you're going to back when I went, you're going to a third world country. I thought I was looking at the dump.
Well, shit, outside of the resorts and the beaches, bitch.
Yes,
you do look like
yes,
a third world country.
Yes,
because if you go walking around like my friend,
don't you go off that beaten path.
I didn't walk
and don't you fucking eat nothing out down there either.
I'll be like, y'all have fun. I'll stick right here. I'll see y'all when it's time for dinner. And I explored what was in the confines of what I paid for. I ain't fucking around. No, thank you. But yeah, it was crazy.
What's the C thing? Coming back from Mexico.
What's the C thing?
What's the C thing? Cocaine?
Oh, cocaína. But yeah,
Mm.
I guess I don't know.
Yeah, because they were all under the vehicles. Coming back in, it's a traffic jam. They were all under the vehicles. They pulled all the luggage out. All the if the buses were going across.
Mm. Mm. Night C19. I don't know what that is. I don't even know what that is. That might be too young for me. I don't know what that is.
What is C19? I don't know what it is either.
But yeah, it's just. She said, um, well, then I don't know what
Oh,
C19.
COVID. COVID. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh, we thinking about
we just
drugs.
about drugs. Like, we was talking about way back. We not talking about.
Yeah, we the way back. Yeah, because that's what they were looking for. That's
Yeah,
everything they were looking for. They were just looking for, drugs,
yeah, yeah,
big time,
yeah.
and asking you. Everybody's saying the same thing. Where are you from? The United States. Don't say nothing. Don't be funny and be smart. Your ass will still be standing there. Your bus be leaving you.
The bus will be leaving you. No way. I can't.
Mm.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I just know this travel season is going to be pretty crazy. So if you plan to travel, protect yourself.
Mhm.
There will be some crazy nuts on out here. Not
You say
crackhead with
drugs?
drugs. um,
It could have. You know what? It could have been crack.
right. Did we bring you back down from the balcony? Talking about
Mhm.
drugs.
He swooped down on that one. He woke
Right.
up. He was nodding.
He went back up. Right. He went back up to the balcony.
His
I
first.
mean, we have some nice, comfortable uh, seats up in the balcony, but yeah, he came back down. And said, "Who's talking about drugs?" No, we
Yeah,
didn't.
he threw that headband. He was nodding. He's like, "What crack?"
One of them dope fiend knives. You know that one that they don't fall. It's
Fall
just
from? Yes, that is
you lean
amazing.
over. You be like, "What the hell?
That is
What they don't
amazing.
fall? They don't
Yeah,
fall."
I know. The first time I saw that shit, I was like so mesmerized by it. I was like, "How do you do that?"
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I won't. Yeah, Patty, I won't be traveling either, so I ain't worried about it.
Mm.
If I can't hop in my car and go, because if I don't have to be near nobody. I'll be perfectly fine.
Get your ass away. Yeah,
Mhm.
I get that. I get it.
No, but just in general, because like I
Yeah,
told you, I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert anyway, so this
yeah.
was cool for
I
me.
mean,
I
this
was
is
all right.
definitely yeah. This is definitely yeah. This is definitely heightened my because they're like, oh, you don't go nowhere. You don't go nowhere. Like I don't really like people that much. I mean, I like people, but it's not like a must. Like I must be around people. Like no, I'm okay. And this was
Mm-hmm.
just like, yeah, you got a reason to be just okay. And even in traveling now that all this may be loosening up, it's like certain places I don't know.
No, I'm good. I'm good because
Well,
I'm in and out. I'm in and out the store.
yeah, well, but I've always been that way. I've never like people like window shop and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I've always been a
You got to have a reason why
like, yeah,
go,
like I'm
go
not
on ahead
one.
and get what you have to get and get the
Yeah,
hell out. I'm not
right.
gonna be wandering around the store.
Talking about what's on sale. My mom do that nonsense. It'd be like the same thing that was on
Is
sale.
anybody in here introvert?
Huh?
I was saying, looking at Patty. I was like, is everybody in here an introvert?
Maybe so.
Pretty. It took me years to figure out. I used to think something was fucking wrong with me. Seriously.
Really?
Mm.
No, it's just really cool.
Yeah, because
I never had it was for me it's not a thing of like being around people. Like I didn't need to be around people to feel like
I can always entertain myself, but
yeah.
the type of work I did, I came in contact with a lot of people, but it fucking drains you. And then I would go through periods where it's like I'd be a shut-in the house.
Yeah. Well, I
And
guess
it's like,
I
what
was.
is wrong with you?
Yeah, I was over people because there were people in my house, and not only that, I had a twin sister, so it was
Yeah.
like,
But you know what? My whole household was like that. We
oh
could be in
really?
the house. Yeah, we could be in the house and not say a word, but everything was
Okay.
cool, and everything was quiet. I
No,
had an aunt
see,
that came and stayed with us for a little while. She's like, my sister's children are so strange. She She's like, they don't make a noise. They don't make
see,
any sound whatsoever. And she could be all the way downstairs and she
mm,
could just whisper and they would hear them. And they
uh-huh.
come running downstairs and that was it. She said they just they entertain themselves all day long and they don't run around and scream like most kids do. And I was like, I just figured we
Yeah,
were normal.
right. Yeah, no, I mean, I was that way. I'd be downstairs just chilling in the basement, and my mom would be like calling around looking for me. She's like, "You didn't hear me calling you?" I did. I didn't feel like being bothered, but my mother was the type that she would make you speak to her. So it would be like
Hmm.
you couldn't just be like, "I'm just chilling, minding my business." Like, nope, you heard me speak. Well, I'm gonna ask you something just on purpose to make you speak. So,
Yeah.
um,
Pink, they used to call you a turtle.
I mean, they probably called me a turtle too growing up, but my siblings was always doing shit to get me in trouble, so I really stayed away
Oh,
from it. Yeah. It'd be
yeah.
like saying shit that like I didn't say. Like it was one time
Hmm.
of course I was really young and I had a teddy bear and I was throwing it up in the air going Teddy, 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 and my brother who's 6 years older than my sister and I. Uh, was like, "Oh, ma," he said titty. And I'm like,
Diddy.
I don't even know what a titty is at this point.
Hmm.
Not really sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
Hmm.
like, what? So he got my sister to go along with it, and she's like, "Yeah, he did, he did, he did, he did." That whole,
Whatever. That's their whole purpose. Older
yeah,
siblings. That's their
I'm
whole
gonna put,
purpose.
I'm gonna
It's to
put soap.
torture you.
Yeah, but my mother was the type of parent that would be like, "Oh, that dirty mouth, I'm gonna put soap in your mouth, and you think you're not gonna really do that?" Oh no, she would really do that, and she really did. So I was like, "Really, really? Okay, I got it, I got it." But yeah, so
Well, Pinky, you've come out of your shell today.
right, yeah, right. And we're grateful for it.
Yes. Yes.
Right, me too, Pat. I was great. I was like, "Give me a
Yeah.
book." I was happy. Like my mother would be so pissed. I'd be sitting on this step in front of the house just reading. Like I had my
Mm.
headphones on, listening to music and reading a book. I literally would look up and it'd be a whole crowd of people just sitting around me like, and I'm like, "When the fuck did y'all get
Hmm.
here?" It was like,
Yeah.
"Oh no, we're just chilling." We just and my mother would be pissed, like, "You inviting all these kids in my step?" No, they just come.
Hmm.
Yeah,
No, but the best thing about it is you could always do some shit, and nobody would ever think that you would do it because it's so out of your character.
you hot sauce? Oh no, hot sauce really? Never use hot sauce. I know that's what you meant, hot sauce.
Hmm.
No, my
Wow.
never use hot sauce. No, my mother actually used a whole damn bar of soap. I never forget that day. And then I looked at her like, "Are you really serious?" It got worse though. My sister, because some houses used to have the wood paneling on the
Hmm.
wall. So my sister got mad at my mom one time, or me, probably me, and wrote, "I did it." And I was like, my name and all. I was like, did you do this?" And I was smart. I'm smart at the mouth now when you really get to know me. But I was just as smart then. Like, why would I do that? Like, that's dumb. Like I would get myself in trouble. Like, why would you say that? Because it's true though. Like, I wouldn't do that. That's almost like me saying, "Hey, come beat me." I don't really need you to come beat me.
Hmm.
I'm good by myself.
I'll
So,
confess now
right. Yeah.
because I
So
could not control the urge of writing on the panel.
to act carving into your wall. Like, no, I didn't do that. She beat
Oh,
me.
she carved it in the wall.
Yeah, no, she carved it. That's what I'm saying. Like she carved it, and
Wow.
I'm just sitting there like,
Oh, that's an ass whooping.
And I'm like, you really don't think that I'm gonna sit here and carve this and put my own name? Like, here, come get me. I did it, lady. Please, you're bugging. You want a reason?
What did you do to your sister to make you want to frame? She wanted to frame you.
For her, I think it's just it. Because most of the time, like I kept to myself. But if you kept bugging me, then I got you. You know what I'm saying? Like if it was like, okay, you know what? I've had enough. I would, it'd be like, okay, it's your turn. You keep messing with me. So she was angry about that. I've got my brother too a few times, but he, you'd be like, enough's enough. My uncle, everybody, like, I just like, yo, just leave me alone, y'all. I'm chill. I'm cool. But when it's like you get me to that point, it's, sorry. So yeah, I used to.
Right. Never confess.
Right. Exactly.
I didn't do it. Not me.
Right. But
but then the parents would get upset and whip everybody. But
that never really happened. That's my fault again, because the smart mouth. Because if she was going around everybody, I'd be like, "You done? That's it?" Because you gonna do all this for something that I know I didn't do. Chop. I'll wait. Sure. Go upstairs and cut the TV off and no game. I'd go upstairs, cut the TV on loud as hell, and be playing the game. But now come upstairs. So yeah, it was definitely a shit starter in that regard. I'm figuring you already beat me. It ain't gonna be no worse. Let's go. For something that they did. But that's how it was. That's why I hate rats now. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, that's crazy. But, it's been a minute. I didn't know it was this late.
Yeah, it's because you're not ranting again right now. You took a breather.
You know what? It's important to rant sometimes. It's ridiculous what's going on out here. Yeah.
Well, here, let's give you one more to rant about. Did you watch the Whoopi Goldberg snapping on Meghan McCain?
I did, and I was going to present that, but then I said to myself, do we really care that a jar of spilled out Miracle Whip, who this whole time since her father had passed was getting kitten gloves and could say and do whatever she wants, to the point where now at this point, Grandma Whoopi is over it.
I was waiting. Look, I watched it when it went the live broadcast, and I was waiting when they went off screen, and you could still hear her fussing in the background. They were going to commercial, and they were doing the announcements. And I was waiting for her to curse at it, and I kept listening real hard. But every clip they kept showing that they had out and about on the web, they would cut it off at a certain point. Because I knew she was like, why do you think I told you to stop? Because we had to go to commercial break. Fuck, right. I was waiting for this. I was waiting for her to say something, because you could hear it in her voice.
Right. Here you always.
It's like you got to pay the bills,
Right. Like, I don't give a goddamn what you say at this point. I know you're just talking to talk. You're just talking to be seen. You just whatever. But like, shut the hell up. But yeah, she really has milked this whole my father's passing.
Yeah, she works she works it a lot. Yeah.
Fuck out of it. It's ridiculous at this point. And it's like, first of all, you're not even a little kid. I could understand that if you were like under 25. Your big beluga whale ass is far from being under 25. Get over it. Like, not get over, but like, don't act like that is what I mean. You don't need to act like a spoiled little white girl.
Well, besides being her father's child, what has she accomplished?
Right, but this is what I'm saying. But this is the privilege and the reality that a lot of them get to live in, that they are
nepotism. That's what that is. That's how nepotism
Yeah, that's
works.
how nepotism works, right? But they are totally oblivious to the facts of the matter that you have not accomplished anything. Like everything you have accomplished came because of who you know, and that's how they operate or how they became so in the positions that a lot of them are, is due to the fact that it had nothing to do with your own skill and ability. It had everything to do with you got a leg up. You just did.
It's not as though she went out there and changed her last name, went incognito, went incognito, right? And to do it on her own.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you want to feel as though
if
you've accomplished things on your own.
Right. And if that was the case, you wouldn't have walked in there talking about I'm Meghan McCain. Okay. Yeah.
But you know who my father is, right? That's the next thing.
Right.
You know who my father is.
That's always the thing. That's always the thing. Even when she does her little political thing, she'll talk about how she kind of agrees with the Republican agenda, but then no, because it's and my father, who, let's be very clear, had his old last minute of justice. Let me clean this up before I go across these gates and get downstairs. So
that motherfucker, he saw the devil. That's what he saw. And it wasn't Little Nas. It wasn't Little Nas X sliding down a pole or splitting his pants.
Right.
He saw the end of the tunnel, and it didn't look pretty.
Right.
It didn't look pretty. That's why you don't fuck over people. Your whole life. Can you imagine going your whole life fucking over people?
That's what I'm saying. But that's why I say the same thing about the lady who, Emmett Till, the situation where she was 80-some years old and didn't go, well, bye.
And she should have done her fucking 15 minutes in jail.
That's it. I don't care. Let her family come visit her. Let them sit.
You know where to find her.
Right.
You don't have to pay for a nursing home, okay?
Right. Exactly.
They want to consider that a plus.
It's free. It's covered.
She'd have been right in there.
You could have put her in the little death chamber where I could watch her in the glass and let her just sit there. Because I don't buy it. Even, all this with I was reading an article and they was talking about the bombing in Palestine or whatever, and they were saying that it's the new modern apartheid because they happen to be brown and a lot of the Jewish people happen to be of lighter hue. And I was just like, are we just discovering this though?
No, that's been going on for hundreds of years.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like that's what I was saying as I was reading the article. Like, did you just discover this?
No, but when I first heard, when all that first broke out, and I'm like, well, what started it? And I'm hearing that, the Palestinians were bombing. Now, this is how it was flipped. The Palestinians were now bombing Israel. I'm like, for what?
Right.
And then you sit back and you listen. And I don't know if you heard this, that Israel had raided a mosque. And they had raided this mosque like 2 days in a row.
Right.
And they actually had the reporters were there, and they were getting ready to show one of the soldiers was getting ready to throw a flashbang while he was there. And it's like, why are you raiding,
mosque?
This mosque? And it all stemmed from this. And I was still sitting there waiting to hear, well, what facilitated them to raid this mosque? Why?
There was none. I mean, it's the, I don't even say Trumpian agenda because it's not. But it's that whole.
Well, it makes them comfortable enough to do it.
That's what I'm saying. It's that whole Russian machine. You know what I'm saying? That has been pushing this. They've been doing their homework on this Adolf Hitler like kind of situation and finding a way that they can have these kinds of movements without causing too much what's going on here from people. Like everybody
Mm-hmm.
just seems to be kind of like, oh, like what's the big deal here? Nothing to see. There is a lot
Yeah.
to see. There's a hell of a lot to see when there's people that one are disenfranchised from their vote, um, people being bombed for no reason. There's a whole lot of things to see. I mean, I was just again thinking about this earlier, and I know I've said this before, but I'm sitting up here looking at black Republicans, male or female, whatever, and figuring how can you be okay with having vote stripped from black people, period, regardless. Because they could even be voting Republican. They just may happen to live in a district that is Democratic. But they're still taking away even that vote. But you're okay with that. Because a vote is a vote. It shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
But it matters because you know that that vote in that predominantly Democratic county is really not going to matter to much. So you don't really care about that. That's not what you're concerned about. But your concern should be about any black vote, not just votes that will make you turn the tide. I don't know. It's just crazy.
No, and then the people never figure it out that it also hurts them.
Yeah, but them white folks don't know that it hurts them now. The ones walking around with not a tooth in their mouth since the day that they took the first tooth came out.
We stop them niggers. We stop them niggers. That's what we do.
But that's all you care about. Even if
I don't want the niggers to vote.
What, there was a video clip of a homeless woman asking the black man for change, and I think he said he didn't have any, that he only had his credit card or debit card or something, that he didn't have any change, but he was gonna go in his car and get her change. And she said, I don't want your money anyway, nigger. And he just like, even at your lowest, you still think you better than me. And here you are asking me for money. But I'm like, I'm not surprised. This is gone throughout history. This is the reason why they were even able to have rebel soldiers in the first place. A lot of them rebel soldiers had nothing. Nothing at all. But they were willing to throw down their lives to make sure that, well, at least that black man won't have more than me. It's crazy. But not black what? I'm lost. I'm lost, y'all. What dude that showed up early?
We showed earlier.
Are you talking about the dude or the girl?
Oh, the non-binary.
You gotta say Pat. That is Pat. That is Pat right there. That is Pat all day. Pat. That is Pat.
That's Oscar Mayer baloney, man.
That's no.
And what is the thing she does with her hands? She puts her hands on her armpit.
Yeah. That's no frills. That's the stuff you would get with the black lettering and the white thing. The no frills. That's the no name brand.
Generic.
Yes. That is a face only a mother could love. As a matter of fact, she probably looks like her mother.
Yeah.
Just curls.
Looking
crazy. Impressive.
Yeah. Did you?
What happened?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, did you read about the police in Illinois? That that the guy with the powder, and it turned out to be his daughter's ashes in an urn. I mean, in the
in a locket thing.
Locket thing. Yeah.
I did read that. Again, here we go. Was not surprised in the level of criminality that the police department will stoop to. Whatever reason. And Nine times out of 10, unfortunately enough, and as crazy as it may sound, I think it's just for numbers. But it's just the simple fact. It's almost like fishing. Um, how they fish. You know how white people fish and then they take them off the hook and throw them back in there. It's almost
Oh,
it's like it's a sport for it's almost as I read the article I was like okay this really must be like a sport to them like this is
well, yeah. You cast the net, and hopefully you'll come across something.
mm,
Even it's just a random. You cast a wide net and see what you get.
yeah, but it's just it's disgraceful like it's like I don't
Yeah, Lynn, that whole thing was crazy. They definitely handled it wrong. Well, first of
yeah,
all, I've seen them like the past 7 to 10 years. I've seen
mhm,
those little pendants that
yeah
people wear
right
now, and I do know that it holds a lot of times it holds a religious or spiritual meaning.
right hmm
So it's just out of common courtesy. That's not something that I would bother with,
right.
you know.
Right. But
Um,
when you don't consider the person to be somewhat one of substance, then it doesn't
yeah,
matter to you.
true. But then for them to go ahead and open it, why would you even be twisting and pulling on it to
Right,
open it up?
right, right. And what would give you that probable cause? Because again, as
Mhm.
an officer of the law, again, you are the officer to enforce the law. So therefore, you would have to have a probable cause to even go. Oh, there's drugs in there. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like it's
You
just
mean the two big bags of weed that were sitting there now? And weed is legal. I don't know as far as the packaging and the amount that you can have.
what state to state varies as far as the amount.
Yeah, I mean, but in his state, because evidently his amount wasn't that it wasn't
No,
it was just
it
that
wasn't
much because
criminal.
they let him go. Yeah,
Right,
but once he told you, first thing I would have said was I would have asked, "What is this?"
right.
before I would have
Before you
you
would
know
have just ripped, tried
would
to,
went randomly and opened it up.
yeah.
Um,
But then, like I said times before, there's no repercussion for these officers. There's no
mhm.
losing of the pension. There's no your paycheck going to a victim's family that you.
No, but you have to think about the actual officers. What kind of heartless bastard would once you know what it is, and they tested it, but then
Well,
they turned back around and lied about it
a lot about it. Yeah, yeah,
and
and
said
trying to
that
say
it.
that it
Yeah, what did
was.
they test it for? What did they test it for?
Um,
I don't remember what. Well, whatever it is, they came back and said it tested positive, and it's
yeah,
like, and
because
they spilled some of the contents.
I forgot what did they test it for? Because
Mm.
it wasn't nothing. It was some sort of chemical substance that they knew was going to be there regardless, uh, or lied about it. I'm sure.
He said meth, Lynn.
Was it meth?
I don't
Jim,
know, but
that
they
would
said
be.
it. But they came back and said it was positive. And then the sad part, not only the real sad part is 2-year-old daughter. She had been abused by the mother,
Mm,
starved,
right.
and in one of those incidents, the mother's in jail, and
Mm,
then the baby dies,
right. Mm.
and the guy tells you
Oh, they said
this is
meth.
my daughter's remains,
Right.
methamphetamines,
Amphetamines.
then it could have been something that could wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see, that's the whole thing. Everything is
To
now.
give
They're
it
still going
to
in the
give
back
it
of the.
the respect to give it the respect that it deserves. Right.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, because if I didn't know what it was, I wouldn't have fucked with
I
it.
wouldn't have fucked with it. I mean, remember the
Hmm.
days of anthrax? We ain't too far gone from that, where people wasn't even just what just today. I think today it was reported that Ron Paul's office had received a letter with some substance in it that they didn't know what it was, so they locked down his whole office. So we're not far gone from those times of anything
Yeah.
that was a different substance you didn't necessarily mess with. You called the proper
Hmm.
channel to investigate, see what it was, and then you moved on. So again, it's that lack of humanity. You're not seeing the person as human,
As a
you see
human.
the person as less than. Um, Real quick, last story, and this is it for the doom and gloom, but because of
There's more.
yeah,
Oh,
because of mentioning that it brought. I just was watching this briefly. Did not catch the names, but there is this white woman who adopted this girl from Africa. Was it?
oh,
Um, I think she was from Africa, but how anyway, she's black, a black little girl, and basically making her sick. Was making her sick
oh,
so much so that she did the Make a Wish Foundation and all that, and come to find out that they started to suspect that the mother or the adoptive mother was making this little girl sick. That they separated them for 2 whole weeks, kept her in the hospital for 2 whole weeks, and realized she did not need leg braces. She did not need none of this stuff that was going on. Actually, the girl was perfectly healthy. That the mother or the adoptive mother was actually poisoning her. This white woman.
was she doing GoFundMe's and all the rest of that stuff?
Yeah, she probably was.
Well, you know that's actually called Munchausen syndrome.
Crazy. And that from them, the show, wasn't it a series on Netflix? The little,
I think so because
yeah,
another parent was doing
Hulu
it.
or
Was
something like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
was poisoning her children so that she would get the sympathy and the attention.
Yeah. And then she wound up knowing that her mother was
Mhm.
doing it, met the guy, and then they wound up killing the mother or something like that. I can't think of the name of it, but yeah.
Mhm.
Crazy, 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 crazy.
Yeah, that one reminds me of that story about the during the Freddie Gray murder and um a lot of these other protests, there was a mixed family,
Mm,
two white mothers, and they would have these black children,
mm,
and they were going around and they were taking pictures and things like with you ever see the photo of the young black boy? They look like they from like Portland, Oregon. The boy had this funny looking hat on and a leather jacket, and he's hugging the police officer. That was the one that was down here for the when they were having that disturbance down here in Baltimore for the Freddie Gray murder.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, and they would just go all over the country
Mm-hmm.
and doing these protests, doing that sort of thing,
Right.
and the mothers drove their vehicle off of a cliff and killed all of them, killed themselves and the children.
Wow.
Now I don't know if these children were adopted or they were just in foster care.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about all the things that were leading up to it. There's a documentary coming out on that because everybody kept saying the same thing. And I was like, once I found out that these, that these were white parents and that all of these children were black,
Right.
and this is what they were doing, because you would always see the same kid, and I always just thought it was the one event but
Mm-hmm.
multiple pictures.
Right.
But it turned out that this is what the mothers were doing, and they also had neighbors calling and saying that the family just seemed real strange.
Right.
So I don't know if they've called like child protective services or what.
Yeah.
I think he made like the front of either Life magazine or Time magazine or whatever.
Mm.
But
It's
but
crazy.
definitely it was like five or six of them, as far as the children were concerned, and they were all underfed. They were all under 8, and they were being underfed, and the parents actually pulled them out of school for a time when neighbors started calling.
Mm. Mm.
But
Mm.
everybody kept saying the same thing. It's like, I see this little kid everywhere. I thought it was just for the one event, and it's like, no, they were going driving around all over the country doing that. And then just one day, because I remember hearing about the accident because they focused in on the one little boy.
Right. Right. Mm. Yeah.
And there's
You just never know. These people are just. Mm. They ruthless, man. They are truly ruthless. And
Yeah.
she was getting praises from the Make a Wish Foundation and everything. She done spoke at one of their award dinners.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, she was getting the attention because she was the
right.
mother that was taking care of this sick child that she
Right.
adopted.
That
And
happened to be black.
mhm.
He's doing such a great work. Here we go. Always got to be them coming in to save us from all the the detriment and torture that you put us through. Here you come saving us. I mean, it boggles my mind.
Mhm.
It really does. But anyway,
Crazy.
on a lighter note, this week, definitely Thursday, join us on Rebel Sun's platform for the Gentleman's Panel. So definitely be there or be square. We will definitely have some great topics to talk about. Of course, we'll be talking about the latest episode of Pose and uh, Chasing LA, which I'm not sure if it aired this week. So I think we'll just be talking about all of the episodes up until um, and some other stuff. He has some interesting questions. He did. And as far as your questions is concerned, or the video, I'm saving that for Nightcap for next week. So, no worries.
Oh, oh, vibrating.
Yes.
Wasn't that off the chain? I had to laugh.
I said, what in the world?
That's another guilty pleasure.
I guess. I was like, what in the world is
Yeah.
it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Nightcap was definitely. If you haven't checked it out, check out the Nightcap. It was.
Yeah,
It was a blast. I was tired of shit the next day. God damn. I was like, what? Like,
sorry.
and I took a nap in every damn thing.
I told you earlier, but yeah.
Yeah, but I still took a nap and I was still tired.
Did you hear that T.I. and Tiny confessed in church? What? No. But I mean, I'm not surprised. Who they confessed to? What's his face?
And what did they confess to? Was it everything or just
who they confessed to? Jamal.
Oh, not Jamal Bryant. You know, he used to have the church down right up the street from me.
Yeah.
Right on Primrose.
Yeah, I've been there twice.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there twice. Actually,
Yeah.
Antonio, whatever his name is, in the time of the nightcap, but Antonio's mom attended that church.
And there was always some shit going on there.
Yeah.
Always
a little something. But yeah.
Wow. It's like I said, 6 degrees of separation, man.
Yeah.
It's a small ass world.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, but confessing to Jamal Bryant. not him had babies all over the place.
Right. But that's the problem. Like a lot of people put people on pedestals that you don't really deserve to be there. Just because you happen to do this, you don't deserve to be up because you're just as failed or as kind of not transparent in the sense where you're showing everything, but people can see through your views that you're not the man that you claim to be. And I think even with T.I.'s situation, I think him coming out and being so a woman should be heard, a woman should be this, a woman should be that, and doing all this I'm here for the Me Too movement, or I'm here for Black Lives Matter and all this kind of stuff. When you got skeletons and things in your closet, people are watching when you talking all that mess, and waiting for a time to just pop your little bubble. That's all. Mm-hmm. And I think that it just came to a head. I mean, you sitting there talking about something. A woman should be heard. Oh, women should be heard. Okay, then let's hear the women that you done stuck your toe in.
I was gonna say when you got a toe somebody's ass, right?
Right. I mean, God hell, like we gone that. Forget about using your actual member. You using other members of your body to put. Like, come on now, what are we doing?
Mm. Well, when all else fails,
right? That toe stay strong. You feel that?
Yeah, that's right. Toes ain't never let me down.
I got the strong toe.
Got the good foot.
Right.
Definitely got the good foot. Oh man, it
Yeah,
was
I don't know
crazy.
about them, but I really hope that in all these cases, because it's not the only one. There's a lot of cases going around where people
Toe jam.
being accused, when people being accused of different things. A whole meeting to toe jam. I'm
Ooh.
not toe
Mm,
jamming
mm,
Earl. That used to be the
mm,
game.
mm.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of people and accusations and things going around. And my whole thing that if it is true, let the people say their piece, and then the people who involved be held accountable, and that and that's just it across the board. Uh,
Mhm,
I mean, hell, if you got to be 80 some years old sitting up in jail like a Bill Cosby, so be it.
mhm.
Um, I don't know. I just don't. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, but I tell you one thing, I'm ready for them to settle
Yeah, I
it.
am. I'm tired of hearing about it, really, personally, because I
Hmm.
was tired of seeing him, especially at all these funerals of these slain
Yeah.
black men and women. Like, I get it, who nice, but at the same time, it was like, okay, like, oh, is everybody here doing it for the photo op because they know that the cameras are gonna be there because it's so
Well,
publicized?
yeah, yeah.
But see, that's my thing. It's like that's not what you need to be. If you're really gonna be involved, then be involved. If you're just gonna be there for the TV, um, promoting the mayor, even when she promoting the senators that were running in
Hmm.
Georgia, all this stuff. And sometimes when you have a lot of stuff happening in the background, it's okay to sit your ass down because again, somebody is paying attention to the stuff you're doing. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yes, expeditiously.
and the word that Joe Clark. That's the word that Joe. That's the Joe Clark moment. Expeditiously.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they need to do. But yeah, they need to just be quiet, lay low, like handle it differently. Get what's her name? Amanda Albright.
Oh
Get her ass on it.
Lord. Mm,
Even
mm,
though I
mm.
know she's probably representing a few of the victims at this
I
point.
was getting ready to say, isn't she?
She is a hungry thing, child. I never forget her backing that woman talking about Usher gave her the
Oh,
clap.
gave her herpes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like if he did, he was kind of desperate.
Mm. Well,
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, just because you got money don't mean that you
money.
do it like that.
Hmm. Sometimes you just want some a different flavor.
Right. Well, mouth is just a mouth. I don't know.
Mm. Well, yeah, yeah. Somebody told me, yeah, lips is lips.
Lips is lips.
Lips is lips.
That's
And I
it.
was like, huh?
As
He's like,
long as
lips is lips.
as long as
They
they
lips.
moisturize and they not dry
And they not dry. They don't bite.
or cut you.
uh, oh, and speaking of lips,
Oh God.
I got to applaud you on that. I will be speaking in code. Your facial expressions are everything, and I'm like, he doesn't realize this who this is, and I'm dying, right? Because you saw the timestamp on when I sent you that message, right?
Right. Yeah.
Uh, and I was like, I knew I seen that person somewhere before, and
Now,
I
see,
couldn't.
I didn't. I didn't know.
But let me tell you how I don't how popular this person is. If you put in head jobs in the straight
Yeah,
um,
yeah, he still popped
filters,
up.
pops up
Yeah,
all across both any platform.
yeah, but that's what I was like after it was brought to my attention. I said, "Well, good mother, like, do you just anything, everything. And then it was just making me. Then as I'm watching all of that was making me uncomfortable. Like as I'm replaying the whole kind of.
Too late because I was laughing. I was laughing the whole time.
I'm sitting there like.
Because if you notice in the chat, I went silent for a while because I was trying to figure. I was trying to figure this shit out. I was like, wait a minute, I've seen this person before. I've seen this person before, and then I said, oh, okay.
And then he's talking, and I'm like weirded out. Like, okay, like
now see,
okay.
You must learn. You must learn to use your resting camera, bitch face.
Yeah. Well, I'm working on that.
No, because the look on your face, just the whole look on. Yes, the whole. It wasn't even like that. No, it wasn't even like that because it was like just like. I was like,
who asked that?
And but I'm laughing because I'm like, just go with the flow. It's fun. Have fun. I'm like, I was like, just have fun with it. And I was like,
you know what? For me, it caught me off guard because it was somebody different, and I think
it wasn't a regular. It wasn't a regular person, but I've seen the person in the chat before.
I know. Oh, we're talking about. We're talking about because I know some of you don't know. You got to watch the Nightcap, the latest episode of the Nightcap, to understand what we're talking about. It was somebody who came into the chat.
And we don't want to be disrespectful.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Ab? So, I was a bit confused because again, I watch everything, even though I may not respond to everything. I still watch it. So when I seen it, I was like, I don't know who that is. I'm thinking, okay, here we go with the troll. And he just kept going. And I was just like, okay. In my head, I was like, okay, weirdo.
Oh, no. A professional. Have to give him kudos.
I mean, I guess.
Definitely knows his stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he does it enough. He should. He
definitely knows his stuff.
Yeah.
And you have to admire a person that knows their talent.
Without knowing the person, though. That's crazy. It was like you ain't because then again when I watched
your ass up.
When I watched it,
but like I said,
and then I replayed everything back, I was like, oh my god.
But like I said, and I didn't want to come out and say anything.
He was naming stuff that he didn't even know. That I was just like, how could you tell that? But then I was like, aha, because you probably already see it off the bat and be like, yeah, he looked like.
No, okay. And like I said, and just remembering the screen name,
right?
I remember, and because of the other video that I showed you,
right.
And I was like, he don't know who
that was crazy.
When the hell? Like that's why I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. When YouTube gives me suggestions, I'm gonna stop looking at that shit. The shit gets me in trouble every time.
But that was my thing. Like, how did you find that? I was like, okay, I guess.
And I just thought it was hilarious. It was hilarious. I was like, okay, and I was like,
and he was very serious about it the whole
well, time. Like I said, when you know your name,
yeah.
What can you say?
Yeah, that was crazy.
So, like I said, I had to give him kudos on on that one, definitely.
It was weird, and that's that was my whole thing. Like, first of all, you were new, so it felt weird to me, and it caught me like weirdo. Like, okay,
and I'm howling in the background.
I know.
I am dying. And as soon as the broadcast was over, I sent you that message. I was like,
right. You know that.
And then when I said, "Let me give you receipts,"
right. Here you go. Receipts are coming. I was like, okay. I gave you the look like I gave him. I was like, okay, receipts. And I was like, okay. Mm-hmm. I get it now. Then it all started. Then I was like, oh my god, did I say anything crazy? Oh my god, did I give an invitation? I was so like bugging because I was just like because it just threw me off a little bit. But it was like okay.
No, but But like I said, this person is so good at what he does. He crosses sexual orientations. Man, you got to be a bad motherfucker to do that shit.
Yeah, I guess so. You got to be a gobbler.
I tell you one thing, some of that stuff look cannibalistic to me.
I was like, my God, what is he doing? I couldn't. I was like, wow.
No.
Wow.
But I was howling, man. I was howling.
I just couldn't. I was like, what? How do you know that? Because my whole thing was like, how do you know that? I was like, you know what? I'm not going to get involved in this back and forth. I have a show to do. So I was just like, because I was reading a lot of the stuff he was saying. It was just like, yeah, you look like you got a blah, blah. I was just like, how did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Then I was
a connoisseur.
Right. I was like, oh, that's how you would know that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you kind of got it right, I guess.
You're right, Pat. You sure did.
Ask for shape. Right. Ask for shape. And
he probably had like a little book, right?
Right.
He was priming you up.
Not even a book. He probably wrote in the own book. He probably was sitting there like.
When he asked you what kind of ticked off something was when he said what part of the United States you lived in. And I was like, oh, okay. Did you ever hear that? When he asked you where were you from? You didn't hear that? Yeah. And I was, because I thought he was a troll at first.
Yeah, because I did. At first, instantly I thought he was a troll. When he popped in, I was like, that person's new.
And you either end up on Pornhub, boy. With your eyes rolled back in your head and somebody sucking the soul out of your body.
No face, no case, child. No face, no case. No face, no case.
Look, that's the only good thing about you. You better make sure that you take your mask with you,
right,
and wrap your head up.
Right, ski mask, wrap the head up, and long sleeves. I don't care if it's 92 degrees outside.
2 degrees outside. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And tuck my shirt in just in case.
Yeah.
No tattoos.
Oh, no! I was gonna say you better tape up your tattoo.
Right, all of them.
Because if not, your ass will be the next next news story on YouTube.
That's why they was all after Cat fighting over him. You see that thing? If you really wanted to see it, you can. But,
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't send you a DM asking for your Twitter account.
Yeah, asking me for Twitter. Yeah.
Man,
I really just thought
I did. I laughed so hard. You know how you laugh so hard when your temperature jumps up? I was just dying. I was screaming the whole time. It was hilarious. Hilarious.
I figured you was. After you sent me that, I was like, yeah, you knew. I was like, because I was totally clueless. I really was like, what's this?
And that was the fun part. That was the fun part because the expressions on your face were priceless. I was like, who is this? Some damn troll again. God damn. Because then your tone of your voice changes and you get kind of sharp.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. Yeah, I was like, I said, he don't know who the fuck.
Yeah. When I started to get annoyed.
Like I said, when I went dark for a minute, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I started to get annoyed. Like, why do you keep asking that? Like, why are you asking that for?
It kept going deeper too.
Yeah. Like
a lot of the things, there are things that I wouldn't. Well,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was like we weren't, and then we weren't even talking about that. Like we weren't even on that subject, and they'd be like, what?
Mm-hmm.
See, you're about to get a
because I was like,
yeah,
this is a professional. Right, this is a professional.
Like this is going deep. It's like please like encourage this fool, whoever this fool is. You ain't encouraging it. So like, that was a deep. This is going real deep.
Mm-hmm.
Any deeper, I like some rain boots. Like you are encouraging this foolishness. I just not know.
I know, but it was fun. It was fun.
Antonio, the what the thing? He was like, I know one time he said, "Let me see your
Yeah,
tongue."
because Antonio had stuck his tongue out,
Yeah,
and
but
that was through the whole.
right.
That was
Yeah,
right near the half pregnancy
yeah,
debate, and see all that stuff was going on at the same time.
right. And I was like, "What?" I'm like, I said that, and then I was like, "Oh, but you took it out of context." I was like, "That's not what I." But I was like, "Whatever." I was like, "Whatever." Like I was just like, "Okay, yeah, okay." I said it. I said it, and I stand by it. As I was, I said it. I said it. But really, I mean, really, people was like, "Oh no, you said it at this mark right here.
That's right. Timestamp.
You said it right here."
I
No,
was say because
just was first. Talking about
I
some.
was say yeah, one of them asked me because y'all kept going back and forth. I was just watching you, and I don't know. It might have been Lynn. They said,
Yeah,
"Tell him that he." Nate said, "Nate, go ahead and tell him that he said it." And I was like, "Ah, you said it."
Like, like, okay, if I said it, I said. But I was like, I said it for a reason. I was like, I don't think I just said it, just like partially pregnant. But yeah, I said if you keep messing with me like that, you'll be partially pregnant. That means some may get in and some may not. That's all that meant. I was like, I didn't really understand the big deal. Like partially pregnant. That means some may get in, some may not.
Woo. Yeah, but that was a fun night, and I was tired the next day. That's the only problem I had.
Yeah. Trust me, I was very thankful. I was off that Saturday. I said, "Oh, yeah, work," and I logged in. It was like off. I said, going back to sleep because I was cursing myself out. Like,
what do you say? Praise Black Jesus.
Right. Praise Black Jesus. Yes, he coming. He coming.
It was you, Lynn.
Yeah.
That was fun. Thoroughly enjoyed that one.
Yeah, it definitely threw me off a little bit. I was like, "Who the hell was that?" That's the whole time in my head. That was when I first seen it. I was like, "Who the hell was that? Who's that? Who's that?" Because I know who normally comes through or pops through, and especially on that night, we definitely have a few regulars come through and pop through either to say hey or whatever. So it was just like, okay, you knew. How'd you find me? And, oh God, don't try to be starting no bullshit. So then it was just like, okay, you asked a little question. Then it was like you going way left field, and it's like we're not even talking about that player. Like,
oh no, but he was.
Yeah,
looking like he saw you sitting up there looking like a snack.
Whole time he looking like a salamander. No, thank you.
No, but like I said, boy, that's a professional. Anytime
I'm
you
not trying to find out. That's okay.
Like say, anytime you that you're what do you say?
She said, "Oh yeah, I remember that dude wanted a piece of cat. No, he wanted a piece of Antonio after a while."
Oh yeah, but like I said, anytime your skill level takes you through 3 different sexual orientations, you do some shit. You put in for one, and he just pops up on everything. So, like I said, you gotta hand it to the brother.
Yeah, I hand it to him, alright. I'm just not handing him it. He can't have mine. He can have somebody else's. He can have somebody else's, but he can't have my it. That's all right. He good. Right. He asking things I didn't even want to know about myself. I was like, what are you talking about? We didn't even talk about that. Like, I mean, because I do understand that although it's a nightcap, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I try not to get too, like, because it ain't that, like, it was like, you want to go?
You may go up to the ledge, but you don't definitely want to jump off.
Yeah. No.
There's a point where you want to
keep
some things yourself. Don't put all your because you do have to remember that you're out here and you don't want all your business out in the street.
Right. That and because people they popping in just to hear what you might say or might say or do or whatever just to be like we got him. Cap said he for the streets. Who said that? When did I say that? He is for the streets. He could be not for my streets. He can stay on his streets.
He looking.
I mean, he was entertaining. I'm, more than welcome to come back. But like, I was like,
Yes,
wow.
please come. Please come. Let me look into the camera. Please come back. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yes. Everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome.
Yeah,
Everybody's
everybody
welcome.
is really welcome.
See, I'm
here.
speaking. I'm speaking for you. This ain't even my shit.
I mean,
Everybody's
perfectly
everybody's
fine.
welcome.
You are a moderator, therefore, you know, you can do that. Yeah, but everybody is welcome here. It was just, it definitely did catch me off guard for a second because I didn't know who the person was, and the line of questioning was like,
and share some of your experiences would be nice to hear. We'll have a nice adult conversation with some giggles and laughs and drinks.
Yeah, sure, because I really want to know, like, you know, the plethora of
and when that happens, make sure you drop the link.
Right. Of anatomies.
I got some questions.
Right. Of anatomies you have in taking, because it looks like you've had your share. I wouldn't necessarily call them all straight. I wouldn't go that far. But
oh no. Not that.
Well, you know, some people are, oh yeah, that's straight trade. No, there ain't no straight about you.
Oh no.
No.
Oh no, he was wearing them. He was wearing that shit out.
Yeah.
He was wearing that shit out.
Yeah. Far more for just okay, I was curious. I'm done. It was like, no, you were going to town.
None of the, and you couldn't call them victims. Okay. No. All of them were willing. They were all willing.
Yeah, I was really trying to figure out what the hell, because they
moisturizers and pumps. Like I said, it looked more like a hobby.
Yeah, but it looked more like a certain kind of hobby. Almost like, how can I put this in the nicest way? That even if I was interested, I wouldn't figure that I would be your type, because they all seemed like you was a.
I didn't think it was a. From his stuff that I've seen, I don't think there is a type.
Oh, I just saw thick guys. Like, I was like, oh, he's a chubby chaser type deal.
No, white guys. People in the car.
Yeah, but
he has a library. Okay, he has a library, and it just looks like
he don't make money for it, so it's definitely just for pure enjoyment. Because
like I said, it's a hobby. It's a hobby.
Yeah, but I'm not into.
I'm glad he enjoys this.
Now here we go with the health and wellness. It is great that you do what you enjoy, but it is problematic if what you're doing, you're doing it unsafely. That is a bit of an issue. But I mean, if you enjoy it, hey. But I just felt like, if you're going to do it, they pay for it.
Yeah, in that amount. Because you might as well make a coin.
You might as well make something out of it.
Make a coin.
There's nothing. I mean, what will happen after that?
Because that's OnlyFans before it was OnlyFans.
But that's my thing. Like, okay, now that there is one though, why not?
Yeah. Look, because he has the content.
He don't need to do another live extra video for at least a year and a half.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's something fetishy thing or something, something.
That's what I think it is. I think
it's not in his normal catalog of participants.
Yeah, no.
But he needs to. If he's not, he needs to monetize. He needs to make money off of it. At least to make it lucrative. If it allows him to drive what he wants to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's
everything about like nowadays,
That's it.
So just go ahead and do it.
Make your money.
I mean, Grandma knits sweaters and she makes money off of that. She's monetized. But I don't know if Grandma got skills like that. That fucking neck, I'm proud that motherfucker don't pop. It was on the swivel, boy.
Well, maybe Grandma told him. She popped them teeth out and said, baby, you got to do it like this.
Yeah.
Grandma
ain't nothing like a smoothie. Ain't nothing like a smoothie.
No, that's not true. Because if they got hard gums like rocks,
Well, yeah, I have. I've seen them bite. I've seen them eat apples, bite apples with them
Ooh,
hard ass guns.
what the? Ooh.
Your whole new meaning of snatching your soul.
Right. Don't nobody want that.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah,
definitely check out the
yeah,
nightcap. You'll
it was
understand.
interesting. It was very interesting. You can watch my facial expressions, which I cannot hide. But you guys know this about me already from what has been like almost 2 years now of watching me. You know, after a while, somebody says something crazy. This face will say, "The fuck you just say?"
Yeah,
Before,
pretty much.
yeah,
Pretty much.
before it comes out of my mouth in a way where it was like, yeah,
No, he just said it. You're just a space. It's where you tilt your neck and you look at the screen like, what? Am I reading what I'm reading? And that's exactly what you do. And you're talking to Antonio and you're steadily talking, and your face is just. I was like, oh, okay.
right,
Let me.
like
And I'm always like, let me see. Let me see what's over here.
what is he looking at? Right, because that's
Uh
just what it is. She said, and that's a cancer thing too. Thank you. It is. Yeah,
huh.
yeah, yeah. That's okay. Our season is coming up. I am the first day of the season, so be prepared. Be prepared. Be very prepared. 28
Yeah,
days and
somebody,
counting. Hmm?
somebody was trying to prepare you for a life altering experience.
No, I wasn't prepared for that. Have me on light camera action and everything. The whole video be out on YouTube talking about stuff.
Mm.
Look at the politician.
Yeah, doing what politicians do. I'm through. I'm done. I'm done.
We knew it.
Yeah,
We
I'm
knew
done.
it. No, thank you. No, thank you. Uh, yes, yes, yes. We definitely rule. We do in the best way. But anyway, it's been real. Again, if you haven't checked out the nightcap, do check it out. The latest episode was a hoot, and you will see all of my what is that? Facial expressions and all of that. But definitely check us out. And also too, we do have because Antonio sent it to me the other day, and I will place it in the bottom of this. But we do have what the call email, so you
Email
can
address.
send your drunk text letters. And again, you don't have to put your name or anything like that. You can just a story, even if you're creative enough to make up a story. We don't have to know that. You can send it in to I believe it's the nightcap. Hold on one second. I can look it up on my phone or my computer, but I know he sent it to me today, and I was like, oh, I meant to put this in the thing. It is, gosh, just highlight it. Okay, the nightcap6@gmail.com. So that's what it is. It's the nightcap6@gmail.com. So if you have a story that you would like to share for the next nightcap, which would be next week, Friday night, around 11:45. That's what we like to start it. Send it to the nightcap6@gmail.com. And we will make sure to air it during the drunk text section, which is just basically like a strawberry letter where you tell us a story, we read it, and we comment on it, anything like that. So that'll be cool. But again, like I said, this week we are having Gentleman's Panel on Rebels channel, so please make sure you come and support. We like to definitely make sure that we support the brothers. If you're not, please make sure you're trying to watch or catching up on Chasing LA with King Payne. And let's see, any other movies that I checked out this week? I did see the Mahalia Jackson thing with Homegirl from Orange is the New Black and Color Purple. It was pretty good. It was decent.
I enjoyed it. I was surprised.
Yeah.
And I think it was done by Lifetime. Also, what's the woman's name that's on the morning show? I think she was like executive producer or somebody, but I think it was like a Lifetime project.
Okay.
And sometimes Lifetime stuff's just kind of crappy looking.
Yeah,
But that came out really good. But the story reminded me of a play I saw years ago with Jennifer Holliday in it. It's called Sing Mahalia Sing. And
oh,
it followed it to the T. It followed it to the T. I'm
that may be what it's a kind of sort of loosely based on.
based on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because in the ending credits of this particular one that I saw that was on that Amazon had, um, they said they did not get any licensing or any kind of okay from the estate of Mahalia
Yeah,
Jackson.
from the actual state. Yeah. Yeah, but
But
it was really good. I
yeah,
enjoyed it.
it really was. It really was a good watch. I
And
was
she did a lot of that singing herself.
yeah, yeah, she really did. She really, really did. And a lot of the little head shaking and stuff. I kind of, again, from watching Eyes on the Prize and all that other kind of stuff as a kid,
Hmm.
looking silly and stupid. I know my friends are like, "You're weird," but I've seen that. So when I saw all that and watching it, I was like, "Oh, they really kind of honed in on that uh,
Hmm.
thing." But that was cool.
Yeah, at least now you can actually see a lot of old footage.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That is true. That is very true. I haven't seen it yet, but I watched the Teddy Pendergrass one day. It really was good. Really, I haven't
Oh,
seen
okay.
it.
I didn't know that
I
was
didn't
out.
even know
Teddy
that happened.
Pendergrass.
Yeah. Turn him off. I ain't know that. I gotta check it out. Mm-mm. Who played Teddy Pendergrass? I wonder. Check that out.
Well, at least they're doing a lot of the black artists biopics.
Right. Yeah, that is true.
Even if even if they're loosely. I mean, because remember
Right.
we didn't
Loosely
have
based.
anything.
Yeah. Because
You might
even
have
the
gotten the same.
Aretha, even the Genius of Aretha was a series that National
Yeah.
Geographic does, but it was still good. I mean, it was good. I still want to see what Respect is going to give, but
Hmm.
oh, it's a
Oh, it's a
documentary. Okay,
documentary.
I'll look it up.
Still be good.
I'm gonna
Just to
look it
see
up. Yeah,
a lot of like I said, a lot of the old footage and a
yeah,
lot of the background stories and things like that.
yeah. I mean, even in this one with Mahalia, I think it was a little hanky panky going on, but it's all right.
Oh, between her and the
It was
preacher.
her
Oh, you
no.
know that because you know the flesh is weak. Ah, and all that goddamn cooking, all that damn
Right,
cooking
all
she was
that
doing.
cooking,
Oh,
right, right.
not to be disrespectful, but Mahalia was fucking. Yes, that is down home. And you cooking like that. I bet you went to Mahalia's house. I bet you she had that can with the grease sitting right on the stove because that was a God fearing woman, and that there was some serious fucking going on in that big old house.
Right, right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-mm-mm.
And
Let me see. Watch
Philly
it on
PD hated him. Really? I didn't know who that is, but I will watch it. Now I'm
oh,
interested.
the Philly Police Department.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Hmm. Well, I can say, who does Philly like?
Right. Pretty much. Pretty much. Pretty much. Well, all right, guys. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been chill. Do you have anything to add, brother, sir?
No, I have nothing to say. I've said everything I needed to say.
Yeah, you said enough. Jeez Louise. Yeah, Sylvia, what is it? You do know who that is, right? No, I don't. I have no idea who this person is.
You've
But here you
been
go.
out here longer than I have. You're moving about. I'm just cruising through.
More receipts. That's because I don't go in every watering hole. Okay, I keep.
Mm. Ah, like I said,
But
you
now, once you
see,
send it to me, then I'll be like, oh, subscribe.
right.
So now, when you send it to me, I'm like, subscribe. So now,
Let me tell you something. Over on Pornhub, we don't have all this foolishness y'all have over here. YouTube.
yeah, I'm learning. Straight to business. Straight to
Their
business.
business. That's right. We don't have
Straight,
all that. We don't have no doxing. What the hell
right.
is that?
Johnson. You mean
when all your business and your guts are out
right.
there anyway.
Right. It's already out there. You see what you see. It is.
Yeah, you see what you see. That's right.
Right.
That's right.
All right, guys. Well, until next time, remember to please wear your mask. If you choose to get, that thing, it's up to you. It's your choice, and I support it either way. But definitely wear your mask, keep your distance, and until next time, be safe. And of course, as always, moisturize. Keep it moist. We don't want no dry
Hmm.
the JJs or pieces showing out
Hmm.
here. And if you
And pump.
right, and pump. And if you're showing your backside, please make sure that's moisturized and not dark, looking like the old Bis hole. Oh, dark space, deep space nine. Nobody wants the black hole, literally giving the whole new meaning to the galaxy beyond.
Mhm.
Nobody wants to see that.
Oh yeah.
They're just
Mm.
okay. So just keep it to yourself. And until next time, America, peace, love, and moisturize.